Tonight we're going to get into a little Bible study. Today we're in Galatians 5:22. The big deal for this was I get a lot of comments, a lot of DMs fairly often about people asking how to bear the fruits of the Spirit on bad days. A lot of it comes from knowing the fruits of the Spirit. The question I got was, how do I bear fruits of the Spirit on my worst days? It just made me think. A lot of it stems from us thinking. It stems from a reaction. And that's usually when things start to go left. But I wanted to read about this because I feel like it's going to be hard to bear the fruits of the Spirit when we don't know them. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I'm just kind of sitting and I read over these like 6-7 times because they're not words that we don't know. They're words that can be hard to apply, right? It's hard to love someone who has done you wrong multiple times. Joy is one of those things where it's like, even though you're having a bad day, like you have something to be grateful for. The big thing is knowing these, right? Praying on these often, but also taking time to read the word, to understand it, right? Sometimes we don't read the word and we try to do things in the word. It's really hard to understand what God is asking of us when we don't know. So Galatians 5:25 says, since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. So if we're believers and we're followers of Christ, these are the fruits of the Spirit, right? On a daily basis, this is something we have to be after. And a lot of times we're just not even thinking. A lot of times we just react immediately, and that's when we end up regretting things. That's when we end up realizing maybe we shouldn't have done that. Here's a couple of notes that we could take away from Galatians 5:22. Bad days can't be an excuse to just respond with your flesh. Bad days can't be an excuse to just respond with your flesh. It's got to be deeper. It's got to be deeper. We got to be rooted deeper. We got to pray more. We got to read more. We have to understand what God is trying to do in our lives. We can't just respond with our flesh every time because we had a bad day. Another thing I wrote was think before you respond. I wrote deny your flesh. I wrote stop hurting others because of your lack of self-control. A lot of people don't like people. A lot of people don't like this person because they talk this way. A lot of people don't like this person because they act this way. But how about we control ourselves? Control ourselves, control the things we say, control the things we do, control the way we treat people. Maybe we would hurt less people. And the last thing I wrote is you got to dig deeper when you're frustrated. So just because you have a bad day, man, it's not an excuse. Just because you're upset with someone, just because you're mad at someone, because you had a bad game, that's not a reason to just forfeit your whole walk with Christ. It's not a reason to just quit. That's not a reason to just completely blow it, right? There's people out there who may not know Christ. You may be their only sign of Christ in that group, but because you had a bad day, you had a bad game, whatever it might be, like because you had something not work out in your favor, now you just threw it all out there. Galatians 5:22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Bad days can't be an excuse to just respond with your flesh. I'm going to work on it. You guys should work on it. Let's pray on it. I'll see you guys next video. Bye, guys.